Hi everyone. This is first of the few videos we're going to make for our app PaperSlip. This is a school management software web application, and it has a teacher's component and it has a parents app as well. So this is the first of the videos to make an overview of what the application is about. So as you can see in the dashboard, there are a lot of options here which are students, teachers, employees, classes, courses, fee structures, discount types, and other charges list. I'll go through one by one. I'll give a brief, very small introduction to what each section is about and what makes our app really great. So first, let's see whatever you see here. You'll see all of these details in the sidebar. So we're in dashboard right now, so dashboard is highlighted. But then if we go to the students, you'll see all the students in the system. By default, that's the view. You see all the students in their grades. You can see their parents' information or guardians' information, and if they have any balance that they have to pay the school. So what do we store for a student? Well, it's pretty simple. We store their normal uh, personal data, their date of birth, place of birth, first name, last name, their address, and some schools like to know their nationality, language spoken at home. And since this is a national application, it will be used, or it is basically being used in different countries, so they can have a residency status in the country as well. So you add your class, your section, your personal information, and then even the medical information is added for any health ID for the province or personal ID. If there's a particular doctor that the student sees, their phone number. If they have any allergies, you can add those allergies. If any special health instructions or care if needed, you can add that. Emergency contact, and then obviously the parents' information. And if we add a new parent, the new parent's information includes basic personal information about their guardian or parent, whatever the relationship have with the student, and if they have any employment information, we can add that as well. So that's being saved for any student. And every data that we store for a particular student, let's say this is a student that we have, we encrypt all the data in our system. So the database doesn't have the actual data in it. It's encrypted form. Only the user will see the actual data. For any student, you can see their finance, if what kind of fee package do they have, any discount they have. You can add discounts, you can change their fee packages, and it's pretty easy, very easy to use. And I'll show you how where you add these fee packages as well. You just like that, you change the fee package, and then you can add a charge for a particular student or add any other charge. Other charges are basically charges that involve sports, library, field trip fees, anything extra you want to add. You can have a due date and then save. It'll add a new charge, and then there you go, the amount is added, and the parent receives a push notification on their phone. If you want to remind them again, you can send them another email, but as soon as you add a charge, a new notification is sent to the parent on their phone. Next is the overview section. Here you see the child's finance. Just like we added a new other charge that's due. There's no fee due right now, so you would see 0 here. The total amount would show up here. The attendance, whatever the attendance is taken, because there's a teacher's component for each class, and then every teacher can take attendance for their class, and that gets reflected here. And if there are any marks, they will show up here. And I'll get to the marks and attendance part when I discuss the teachers part with you, but this is just an overview of what a student's information we store. So next we have uh, in the dashboard, there are teachers, employees. Basically they're more or less the same. You can have for any particular teacher, uh, you save their personal information. Another cool feature is that you can see the activity of a particular teacher. And when I get to the teachers part, I'll show you when the teacher logs in, when the teacher logs out, when the teacher starts a class or ends a class. You could basically see the teacher's activity if there is any activity. Particularly, I can't find a day with an activity for you, but there's but if there's any activity, it would definitely show up here, particularly not for this teacher, probably for another one. Let's say it's Zohaib, and in the activity section, I remember adding an activity on 16th. There you go. So when they started, the time, when he took attendance, which class he took the attendance for, when he started the class, when the attendance was over, basically when he ended the class, and then when did he leave the teacher, or when did she leave, it depends. And then in the shift section, you can basically see what time did they start their shift, what time did they end their shift, and it tells you the total shift hours. And if there's a mistake, because in the section where you go and sign in and sign out as a teacher, you could make a mistake, you can forget. So the admin always has the functionality or the ability to go and edit it. So I'll just add an end time. Let's say started at, well, you're not gonna start at 1 a.m. Let's say you start at 7 a.m. and then you end your shift at, let's say, 4 p.m. There you go. The shift's been saved, and then the 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. shift has been added. Yeah, basically it just switched the dates. So you can see the shift time, you can see start time, and you can see the end time for any particular guy. And if someone forgets to add any time, you can add any shift. You can add a start time, let's say 5 a.m., and then you can add an end time 5 p.m. when you save. So a 5 a.m., 5 p.m. time, 12-hour shift, you just added it. And it's so easy to add a shift for any particular person. And you can switch the dates and then see in those particular dates what were the shifts in that time frame. So it's good and it's handy to keep track of when your employees are coming in, going out, how many hours are they working. So it's a good tool to manage that part. And in the classes section, you'll you see your normal school classes. Whatever you add, you can add multiple classes, and then each class has sections. It'll show you all the sections that you have. You can add new sections if you want, section name, room, capacity, and select a class teacher. If there is no class teacher available, it will show you that they're disabled and you can't select them because they're already selected with another class. But you can change and you can edit it and then select for another class. And in any class, you can go in a class. Let's say this class has 4 students. Let's go in this class, and you see the data for those students. And then from here, you can go to the students, information, but that's unnecessary. Basically, you can keep track of how many kids in each section, which kids are where, who's the teacher, and that's all for the class and sections. And then we have a courses section where you would add a course for a particular class. Let's say I want to add a course for uh, grade 1, or it's KG, or it's grade 5. So when you're making a schedule, only these courses would come up while you're making the schedule. So speaking of schedule, let's go there, but first let me show you one thing. You can add a syllabus. So right now this is a random image, but basically this would be any syllabus for your course description, any course description for a particular course you add. This can be handy in distributing to teachers that this is the course description that they're teaching. So schedule. So your current term is already selected, and you can just choose any class. Let's say I choose nursery. I'm not sure if I had courses for nursery. Let's say KG, and then the section is pink. Pink section, today's date is here, and making schedules are very easy. Whatever time that you want to add a schedule to, just drag down that slot. Let's say it's 8 a.m. to 9:15 p.m. Leave it. And then it asks you which course do you want. That's the only course we have for KG, because I told you that there can be, you have to make a course for each class, because each class can have a different course. And then a teacher who would teach this class, let's say we add this Zohaib, and then if If it's just a 1 day thing, you could just say repeat never. But normally you would want to repeat this on a particular day. Let's say the teacher teaches this course Monday to Friday. So I'll just deselect Sunday and Saturday, and then everything else is selected. I can choose a color for my course so because it looks nice. Purple, okay? So Monday to Friday, this teacher Zuhaib is going to teach Islamiyat to the KG class 8 a.m. to 9:15 p.m. And as I save, there you go. It adds Monday to Friday for Islamiyat with the color that I just added. And I can drag the course if I want more time, or I could just pull it down back to 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. and it'll shift it. And if it's a time change, let's say I want to change it all together, I can just drag my course wherever I want. But I can't drag it anywhere else because I'm already repeating it. So if you want to change the days, you would just click the course again. You can edit the course. Let's say I want to repeat it only Monday, Tuesday, Monday and Friday. And then you just edit the course. I want to change the color as well to something green. And I press save. So only Monday and Friday. And this gets repeated every week. I can check that. I go next week. There you go. Next week, next week. So this course is repeated every Monday and Friday. And since I added it in the teacher section, obviously this is going to reflect on the when the teacher logs in. This is mainly management for the administration tool for the management in the school. One very amazing thing about this tool is it has an accounts manager. Yes, you can make your fee plans, what kind of plan you want to create, because that's the plan you're going to add to each student while you're registering them, and then discounts, because these are discounts you're going to add in the section where you add a kid, register a kid. So each kid is going to have their uh, fee plan selected and discount selected, and instead of going to each student, you could just go in the fee manager or the accounts manager section. So the accounts manager section, you could just add a fee for the whole school or any one class with a due date. Let's say I want to add a fee for classes or grade 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then just press save. That's it. That's the only that's so limited, in such a limited time. It's such a small time frame. We just added a fee for all the kids in those classes, and a push notification is sent to all the parents that have our school app that a fee is due for your particular kid, and that's the amount. And they can, well, when we were doing our video for our parents app, you can see that there. And it's whenever there's a the kid pays the fee, you could from here just change it to paid or late unpaid or late, you know, paid. So but it tells you, hey, I did update this. This is updated. That's it. You don't have to go press save anywhere. That's it. If it's paid, you just change it to paid, and it's paid. As soon as it's paid, it disappears, because this section is mainly for students that have not paid the fee. Let's say Saad Abdullah here, we pay his fee. He paid the fee. Now that kid is gone from this particular area that he paid the fee. Similarly, you could add other charges to the whole school or any selected classes in just few 2-3 clicks, and the other charge would be added, and the parents are going to get push notifications sent to their phone. As you add the fee, it tells you how much fee that's collected while the students pay and how much fee is still remaining. Same here, if how many students have paid the fee and how many students have yet to pay. And you can choose the dates. This is a 1 month. You can choose it to show previous month's data as well. So it shows you previous month's data, and you can just go back to 1 month and then see how it changes. Changes are so fast. In clicks, it changes. And if, let's say, 5 days have been passed and students have not paid their fee, they're still here. You can just go click send reminder. It sends an email just saying reminder sent to 10 students because 10 yet to pay. So it sends a reminder email, and it sends a push notification to all the parents that have their fee remaining at the that they've not paid yet. And let's say I paid the fee for Saad, I can go in Saad's, you know, profile in the finance, and if I have to, this was the paid fee. If I have to download the invoice, I can download it. I can email the invoice, and I can just view the invoice as well. So that's accounts manager. And each school has a term. This is just to show, just to keep terms in the school, because in each term you're going to have new data and you don't want to lose the previous data. So in each term, because let's say you want to see the fees for a particular time, you want to create a schedule for a particular time. Let's say you're still in the first this school term, but the school's about to be ended, and you can select a new term and then add their schedule. And it's so easy to add schedule, just like we saw. So from here, the only last thing I want to show you is the notice board. And the notice board is just like any notice board in a school. Here you would just add a title for, let's say this was school opening date, holidays, season starts next week, happy holidays. That's it. And then you choose who you want to give the notification to for this notice. And you can choose the whole school, which means all classes, all teachers will get this notice, or if you only want teachers to see it. Let's say we only want teachers to see it, that's it, we choose teachers. If there's any particular image that we want to add, we can just add a random image. I'll just choose our paper slips image that we have right here, and then say open. Okay, so that's the image, and then we'll say post. So that's the a notice board, and you see how fast is it. It tells you when it was posted by the administration, and then obviously this was only for the teachers. Now I'll go to the teachers section where I should see this post, or I should still get a notification that a new notice has been added. So